Okay, good. Live there. And what were the ADP numbers anyway? Let me see. ADP 113,000. Employment change. Let's see. Private businesses in the United States added 113,000 workers to their payrolls in October, slightly below expectations of 150,000 increase, and following a previous gain of 89,000. However, job gains continued to exceed the 70,000 to 100,000 range required each month to accommodate the growing working age population, suggesting that the labor market is indeed showing signs of gradual relaxation, but remains robust even in the face of the Federal Reserve's tightening measures. The service providing sector added 107,000 jobs led by education, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So it was a positive. In employment, but we're also getting some more employment numbers later today, I think. I believe the JOLTS numbers come out at 10, and then on Friday we have non-farm payrolls numbers coming out, and then of course later today we've got the Fed information, and Thursday I believe there's some data too. Let's see really quickly. That data is Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow we got initial jobless claims, non-farm productivity quarter over quarter rate, and jobless claims, and then on Friday the payroll. So it's a very jobs week. It's jobs week plus Fed at 2 p.m. This market's going to be probably slow today, in my opinion. Until the 2 p.m. release of the Fed information, and then the 2:30 meeting discussing the decision, which will get us a little bit closer to understanding what maybe the next decision will be. That's probably the most pertinent thing that will start to happen from 2:30 to 3:30, is getting an idea of if there's any different trajectory being considered. Excuse me. To adjust sort of your growth allocation and value and defensive allocations over the next 6 months, which ends up moving the market. Ooh, really so. We are watching CLLS this morning. 97-cent stock yesterday, now $2.67 after having a deal with AstraZeneca. By being in this range, it makes it interesting because it's definitely over $1. Although we have the 97 cents yesterday, so we'll see if the NASDAQ triggers halts at 20% or 30% or 50%. Depending on the demand on it, it has potential, but it's a 44 million float. It's $2.70, so it would need almost $100 million in order to soak up that float. I don't think that's feasible. So far this morning, though, it is traded. That is CLLS. It has traded, let's see, 16.5 million shares at $2.50 roughly. VWAP is $2.50. So you're talking about 50 million. 40 is that 40 million? 32 and 8. Yeah. $40 million have transpired so far. You can kind of expect that much tripled by the end of the day, 120 million. And what I was saying is we need 44 million times 2.5. It could end up soaking up the whole float by the end of the day. So, but it's going to be slow going. So I kind of don't think so. Usually you need that to be soaking up by the end of the opening of the market. So CLLS is kind of like that's the best quality um, ticker we have this morning to trade with. Yes, Scooby Doo, but not what do you call it entirely. I also have other accounts at other places. I'm talking to Scooby Doo. How about TGTX, Sarah? It's not on my list. Oh, yes, it is. Catalyst Day, TGTX up 35%. Okay, I think it's newly on my list. Let's see. Yeah, that looks great for a day trade. TGTX. Yeah, let's watch that. Very nice. Obviously, you have to wait for a pullback consolidation now. So, will the market get up and over some of these pivot points it just put in? I don't know. The day today is going to be very low volume, so it will remain to be seen. But Raru, what does that mean? Oh, Scooby Doo, got it. Rutro. Yeah, that's you spelling Rutro. Yes. Welcome to the party. Check out Snipaladigo. What is this? What? Check out snipealgo.com. Let me know what you think of my uncle's automated trading site. All right. Snipe Algo. Your uncle is a wise man. Snipealgo.com. Looks kind of 80s as far as the site goes, just constructive criticism, but he's got a pretty nice menu system at the top there. I like it, in that sense. Maybe it looks better on mobile as well. And you know what? I'll look at it later. I'll keep it up there in a tab, and I'll go a little bit deeper dive on it later and see what it's all about. Yeah, it says that it wins 96.6% of the trades. So already that sounds completely dubious because nothing wins that much percent of trades. So we will see. Obviously, no offense to you and your uncle, but your uncle could be a wise man. I mean, hey, he did spend a lot of time creating that website. Let's see. I need to pull up the market. All right, there we go. All right, the market. If it breaks over this, I'll pivot back here. I'll get back in. See what it does there. I wonder if I can. Let's see. Modify order. No, it will not let me do that. Okay. During entry, if I can do that. Buy stop limit. Okay, so I could do that. Okay. All right, cool. Exactly. There we go. I do, Scooby Doo. I do. You need to go to e3tradinggroup.com. e3tradinggroup.com. I'll take you right in. All right, the market is moving. TGTX. I mean, we're just waiting for some kind of pullback that we can work with. Market is opening in 14 minutes. All right, entry on the market right there. Looks like it might break a higher high. Well, progress before the market open. Ruh-roh. Let's see here. So the dollar is actually weakening, but the VIX is strengthening. The market is up. The dollar's going the other way. That's a little funny. Sometimes, during a healthy markets, you do have a little bit of decorrelation with the dollar. So that's very interesting. Bitcoin with a solid move on those ADP numbers, if that's what moved it, or it could have been Bitcoin itself that moved. No idea why it moved. There was something happened at 8:30. It must have been the ADP numbers, the job numbers. But Bitcoin's moving just as much as the market, if not more. Let's see. The Bitcoin went from where do we get here? Where's the number? 34,800 to 35,300. So about 500 points on Bitcoin move to the upside, which is that over 1%? Let's see. I'm just not sure if I'm doing my math right. It might be 0.1%. Yeah, it is. It's 1.4% move on Bitcoin on the ADP numbers. And Bitcoin just broke out. The Qs haven't broken out, but they'll probably follow. What Bitcoin can do, the market can do. If you've ever seen The Edge with Anthony Hopkins. What one man can do, another can do. What you think of Ford GM since deal is made? Yeah, I don't really trade based on news. I mean, news makes me look at the chart, but the news doesn't tell me to get in or out. Price does. So I'll take a quick look at GM. TGTX maybe rocketing out for an entry, breakout entry, TGTX. All right, GM, I mean, it's just hammered. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. And then Ford, same, just totally hammered. I wouldn't touch it. It could be months before it actually is something good, a good signal of some kind or a good looking chart. You just wouldn't touch it. There's just so much else you can trade. There's so many other charts out there that you could put your money in. And if there's not, then, good. Stay in cash. You'll learn that about trading. I've been trading for 25 years. And when there's nothing good, it doesn't mean you do something. You don't do anything. You wait it out. Otherwise, you're going to be the guy that got chopped up and bled out before you needed to preserve all that capital so that you could actually make a lot more money when everybody's making money. When everybody's making money, you're going to be making money. Problem is, other people will have more money than you because you blew it all not waiting. And they have more because they didn't. Flat out, full stop, period. So, who gets ahead the most is he who doesn't bleed out the most while waiting for good periods in the market. Everybody can get back to break even. There's no fucking magic trick to that. Actually, even that's pretty difficult. Right, RJ? Good morning, buddy. You did see Dumb Money, Carl. All right. So even though I talked it up, which kind of sucks, like somebody talks up a movie and then you go see it, and to me, it ruins it because then it's not as good in my mind as I was, pumped up to believe it was. I'm telling you, you guys can trust me. I know good movies. That movie was really good, and I would have hated to pump it up any further. Yeah, and so Carl says it was brilliant. So cool, wasn't it? It was just awesome. And so now that you've seen it, Carl, like look at me, like right now. Isn't that just like it's just weird, right? Like we have that thing going. It's nuts. And then you were remembering all those details, all those days, the specific. Absolutely, yeah. Go see Dumb Money, guys. It really, if you haven't seen it, super good movie. Like I said, I'm not sure it's maybe top 10 in the finance space of movies, but I think it's probably top 20. It might be number 19, but it's top 20, and it's damn good. And as far as retail traders go, and not stories about stuff that you can trade, it's probably top 5. Yeah, great story to remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the whole diamond hands movement, both the downside of that and the upside. I mean, it was a very unbiased portrayal of how hedge funds and retail traders made money, lost money, made money. I mean, it covered it all. Very nice. Dumb Money. Great movie. Go see it. All right, the market is pushing further. I'm going to grab, I'm going to double, I'm going to get another entry. I'm going to add on up here. It's just too close to the price is too close, and so it won't let me. There we go. Okay. I'm looking to take targets on my first position, just a smidge above here. The market is opening in 7 minutes. But if I can get an add-on here on this further break, that'd be fine. It's doing the Atlas pattern, And almost got an entry. There's entry. All right, so I've added on. And so now I set my stop on that second entry on my pyramid. And the distance between those 2 points, I'll double it. And that's my target on that one. 2 to 1. What do I like about Ethereum? What is this? ETH? What did you say? What do I like about Ethereum? I didn't say anything about. Oh, what do I think about Ethereum? I thought you said like. Oh, CLLS is just about triggering now. Yeah, CLLS is an entry. Potentially, if you want to wait just a few more minutes, you can. But CLLS is interesting. 44 mil float. I think it's like a little bit asking too much because of the floats at 44 mil. But it's at $2.70, which is nice. It was 97 cents yesterday. It has in the general realm of the dynamics we're looking for. So CLL, and it's the only one this morning, CLLS. Well, TGTX is another one, but that one's $10. It is well within the range of what we're looking for. TGTX is very good. So we're finally getting that pullback on TGTX, by the way. That's looking good. And, we're looking for an entry, TGTX, if we can get it. Oh, Ethereum? I don't know. Wow, Bitcoin pulled back pretty hard over the last few minutes, so I might get stopped out on my ad because Bitcoin was really responding sensitively, and then I feel like NASDAQ was lagging behind Bitcoin, and Bitcoin sort of leading the way this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, well, I'm just going to let it play out. I have all my stops set. TGTX pulling back, CLLS pulling back a little bit right before the open. We have about 4 minutes before the open. I don't really have like a opinion about ETH that's like worth anything more than its chart. Like I don't, I haven't studied the fundamentals of ETH and the growth trajectories of ETH and have a thesis on ETH. The charts on crypto have been following the growth markets. It's a growth asset, so when the market is ready to run and is signaling, then ETH and Bitcoin will be ready to run. And now is not really that time. At the moment, I'm just day trading it, intraday trading. Now, the market is opening in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, Kitty, what was his name? Super Kitty or something? Roaring Kitty. That's what it was. Roaring Kitty. Good movie. What they could have called it Roaring Kitty. But I guess, what did they call it? Dumb Money? That's even better, though, Dumb Money, because, I mean, that's exactly how I described it to my wife. Like, there's smart traders and money and investors out there. They have a lot of money because they're smart and experienced. And then there's dumb money. And, the only way they can make things happen is if they gang up on Wall Street. They band together because they don't really have very much money because they're dumb or inexperienced. And then, so I think, that's what it really was. Dumb money. The dumb money war. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool movie. I had forgot a lot of the stuff they went over. Some of the stuff they went over I didn't even realize. But it was very interesting, yes. Covering some of those topics. All right, market's opening in 1 minute and 57 seconds. TGTX continues to pull back. What's the float on that? 133 mil. The float's too big. I mean, it's moving. So, but on the open market, I don't know if it's going to be able to move. With a float at 144 mil or 3, whatever that is, that's too much. That's a quarter of $1 billion you're asking, to transpire just to soak the float. And you really need more than that in order to create halts and mania and momentum movement. Well, I can't discuss that, CJ. Yeah, it's a complicated issue, but definitely not because I don't want to. It's called ex-wives. And they can just basically go F themselves. Fair point. Some of you, the reason why I even mentioned that is because some of you might not know because you're just young. All right, AMC, which we're in from yesterday, is putting in a little bit of an entry signal. I just got cut out of my add-on on the market. And the market is opening in 5 seconds. Here we go. We're good. Market's open. We're rallying right off the open in the first few seconds here. You got to give everything a minute, at least a minute. Just give it 60 seconds. Take the breakout from there if need be, especially if it's a momentum trade. There goes TGTX with its first green candle, 1 minute chart on that pullback. TGTX could be an entry right there. CLLS is bleeding out. No entries going on over there. CLLS bleeding out. TGTX, where are we in the minutes here? We got 10 seconds left in this first minute. And then you can be damn sure a signal is there after that. if it breaks to the upside in price after the 60-second mark. Okay, 60-second mark is in, and now an entry would be at 1040. There it is. Boom. That's an entry on TGTX. Bitcoin just pulling back hard. Meanwhile, the market is fighting. The growth market is trying to fight it out. I don't think it's going to happen. TGTX catching a little bit of momentum now, 1047. Okay, I just got stopped out on my market long from pre-market as we broke the 60-second low off the open. Not a good sign. AMC pulling back, by the way. 1060, 1058. I would not like to see it fall below 1048, like basically 1050. The pullback on Bitcoin was just so strong. It's all the way back where it started from. The stock market is not looking like that at all. Neither is the VIX. So a little bit odd. There's some decoupling, decorrelation going on here on some assets, and it's just going to take some time, 5, 10, 15 minutes to suss out what this rotation is. All right, and there's a triggered back entry on the market. I'm back in on the market. Looks like it's going to be a rough day, you know, like that. Sort of setting my targets right now. Okay. All right, we'll see what happens. I mean, Bitcoin has just completely erased all of its progress from the ADP numbers. But the growth market and the VIX and even the S&P 500 all acting fairly supportive and strong. I do not have any preconceived notions, though, and especially on a day like today where at 2 p.m. the Fed is going to be reporting their interest rate hike decision, which has a 98.1% chance of being it's staying the same. And but what will really move the markets is probably the talk afterward. Won't be no surprise there, unless there's a surprise. But then, you know, during the talk afterwards, you needed to take some profits on TGTX there as it approached pre-market highs. By the way, 1090, somewhere around there. So hopefully you got that and you didn't miss it. Those of you who have been trading with me for a while, you should know that. And plus, or you could be using a ladder. Anyway, back to Fed. So at 2:30, he'll be talking, and then that's really going to be what creates some movement in the market, because then we'll be getting a sense of if there's any change in texture from what he's said before about what the plans are for the following months. Those remarks are like, are corrective on the market, depending on if they're different than in any way than what was outlined prior. CLLS totally bleeding out, no trade there. All right, CJ, how long have you been trading these kinds of biotech shit stocks? He's like, long enough. Why am I seeing further movement up on the Qs over here, but not over here? This data is not delayed. Oh no, but I'm not seeing it over. Strange. In the TDA, I'm seeing a lot more price progress on the chart on the Qs than the Nasdaq in the futures or trading view. Strange. Data discrepancies. I mean, on the daily chart, we have a ways to go. I mean, we can move up here today, and it would be meaningless, because we're still basically slowly filling up 2 prior strong down days. And when you have a strong move in one direction and then a slow pullback, whether that's up or down, the opposite direction is what a pullback is. The strong direction and the slower, weaker pullback tell you that the trend is in the direction of the strong, and that's a natural form for the pullback. So just because price has been going up and up and up and up for 4 days in a row, that's slow compared to the 2 strong days it went down. So overall, in the large scheme of things, aside from the Fed decision and other economic data which could change things, the chart's saying, we are in a downtrend. A 2-to-1 downtrend. I mean, you got 2 down days that are strong, and then 4 up days. That's like actually a 4-to-1. A 4-to-1 differential, the strength of being 4-to-1. Woo! There goes TGTX. Woo! Look at that go. Who got it? Very nice move on TGTX there. When you have that much strength, you go ahead and you sell into it. Doesn't even matter if you miss any further move. You make your money and you don't worry about it. And that happens momentarily. That's why, trading any kind of biotech intraday stock with the kind of over 100 million float, you should have a high frequency trading setup for that. You need at least $25,000 for high frequency trading setups to day trade. But, once you're there, you could get something like Dash Trader. If it depends on how serious you were getting, you could get something like Dash Trader and that's $180 a month. So that's pretty serious. That's like almost $2,000 a year. Actually, it's more than $2,000 a year. And but at that point, you have executions on just 8 feet from the Nasdaq trading floor computers, and so you have they're the fastest executions on Earth, and it makes it a lot easier to make decisions. Or let's put it this way: the decisions you make will be executed well ahead of other people seeing the same data. You'll be ahead because your data is simply first. And I always liken it to being Quicksilver in the what is it? The superhero franchise? Quicksilver is in I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure which superhero franchise that is, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you could just do anything. You feel invincible because every decision you make is before everyone else is seeing what you're seeing. It's like trading in slow motion. It's like having atomic, being an atom in the system. It's freaking awesome. The $180 a month, it sounds like an expenditure that you don't want to have, but even if you're losing money as a trader, that $180 a month is actually saving you at least $180 a month. So, if you're losing trader, you should just, stop. But, if you could be break even or have some profit edge, that definitely will up your game. Dash Trader. Well, TGTX giving it all back just about. I will get out now. 10:30. Blow that little pivot break failure. It's like a total reclaim to the downside. It is a slower move down, but Regardless, it's going to burn traders. When a pivot point breaks like that, it ruins the stock for a while. Oh, AMC pulling back fairly hard since our entry yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and liquidate it at break even right now. We're back to where we got it from, and so I'm out. We don't let something move up a couple of percent like that or make good progress and then come all the way back to our break even and then not get out. It's very important to get out at break even. Rates are all over the place. The growth market having the best move overall of all sectors. Interesting. It was basically expansion in the jobs area. Due to population growth and people going from the age where they can't work to the age where they can get a job / getting out of school and then they can get a job, et cetera, et cetera. That population growth rate was exceeded. The population growth rate requires there to be about 70 to 100,000 new jobs every report in order to fill the rate in which new human beings can work and exist in the marketplace as employees. And it came in at 125,000. So it came in above that. So you see that shows some expansion in the business space. It means we're definitely going to beat GDP. GDP is going to continue to increase. I mean, this shit's getting amazing, frankly. I mean, we had over 4% GDP recently. I think it was 4.9%, if I'm not mistaken. It's almost 5%, which is roughly unheard of. It's insane. And we do that with 1/20th, 1/10th the workforce of other countries who barely approach our GDP levels. That's the power of freedom versus any other system out there. Can you imagine if our education system, instead of teaching ridiculous shit in public schools, can you imagine if we adopted one which taught how to be financially responsible, understand politics, municipal all the way to the federal level, and how to own, operate, and run businesses? Can you imagine if that was public education, mandated federal public education? The number of businesses that would start up and succeed and the amount of innovation would blow minds. If only we could do that as a country. Other countries do, like China has very great education program, but the problem is they're communist. So, they're 20 times less efficient as a free man. 20 times. In other words, they're only 5% as efficient as a free man. They require 1 billion people to do what 50 million can do here. They require 1 billion. So, but imagine what we could do if we did that same thing. And we mandated, an education that actually mattered and made a difference. The amount of innovation would be mind-blowing. It would be staggering. And GDP of 5% would go to probably 20%. It would be just staggering. It would be mind-blowing. We would obliterate. We would probably evolve to another species. I mean, we would obliterate everything on this earth as far as achievement. It would be unparalleled. Can we do it? Man, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. What I say is that people, I mean, you have free choice here, whether you're left or right, you have free choice to choose where you do business and stuff. But what I say is, like, if you're a registered Democrat, you should have like a card which allows you into Democrat businesses, including your pension and your Social Security benefits should be in the Democrat pool. In other words, your taxes and your you get your own tax rate. You run on your own system basically. And then, Republicans are right, or conservative, how you want to do it. You get a card, whatever, and you have access to your own pool. So you each get your own pool instead of everybody gets to take money from each other. Like I don't, the Republicans don't want, money from Democrats, and Democrats don't want money from, we're happy to sustain ourselves. And I'll tell you, I think things will get a lot more fucking crystal clear. I'll just say that. Yeah, I mean, the way government runs everything is so wasteful, because, you can just get approval to stretch things out, like obviously like building, construction, instead of getting it done as fast as possible so you can get a bonus. Instead, they drag it out for as many years as possible, as infinitely as possible, so they can give money to as many, construction workers as possible. Which sounds great, but it doesn't actually work, because it's much better to get the thing done and get it done fast, and then that creates more wealth in society, and then you get more construction work. After that, you don't have to drag things out. Oops, you're getting some kind of a power outage here. Something's happening. All right. Yeah, Daniel. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And don't forget to click all the links in my bio or wherever it is, blah, blah, blah. And subscribe and follow wherever you are out there. To come into our group, go to e3tradinggroup.com. To learn more about trading, you go to marketmastery.teachable.com. All right, everybody. Have a good one. See you back in the group. See you in the cord.